guys, how's it going? And welcome back to a new episode of our SupercarTribe vlog. So, as some of you may know from previous videos, I recently moved out to Saudi Arabia, which is why you see all these palm trees in the background over here. What I wanted to talk to you about was a car that I've been offered. So when I got here, I bought this car, which is Porsche Cayenne GTS with a manual gearbox, 6-speed manual, very rare car, and really enjoying driving this. I've made some videos which I'll put a link up here somewhere, and then you can watch those videos as well. But when I got here, I made contact with people that I know over here, put some feelers out and said, let me know of any interesting cars that are coming out. They're coming available. This is the kind of thing that I'm looking for. I don't mind a project car. For me, that just means it's more fun. There's fun to be had with the car. You can pick it up for a decent price, and you can turn it into something back on the road, and all of that. So I then had one of my contacts contact me and said, there's an Aston Martin going, are you interested? And I said, yeah, possibly, give me the details. So he put me in contact with the buyer, with the seller, and said to me, so I spoke to the guy and he sent me some pictures, and basically it's an Aston Martin 2006 car with 19,000 kilometers. So, very, very low mileage. What's the downside? Well, the downside is that it was involved in an accident, and it's been off the road for 4 years. So he sent me pictures, and my initial thought was, holy moly, this is just way too big a deal. So initially I was thinking, there's no way I can get this back on the road. And that wasn't until I started looking into it, and I started watching a couple of videos, and one in particular series that really, really helped me, and I watched the playlist twice on this one, was from B is for Build, and I'd not come across the channel before. Probably came across it through YouTube search, and I thought, you know what, this is actually not bad. It's not as bad as it looks. It looks really bad because the car is completely bare from the front, but from the A-pillars backward, the car was solid. There was no issues with it. It did need a windscreen. The windscreen had been taken out, but essentially there was no bodywork that needed to be done from the A-pillars backwards. And then when I researched into it, the front of the car basically had 2 wings, a bonnet, and a bumper, and that was it. And there was things attached to the bumper, and to the grills attached to the bumper and to the wings, but that was essentially what was missing. And then there's the frame underneath, which was missing, and the radiators and things like that. So it was really going to come down to price. And I said to the guy, so what are you looking for? And he said to me, 30,000 riyals, which is about £6,000. And I thought, crikey, that's possibly quite good. So I then started researching into it, and I thought, okay, so 30. So if I was to buy a car which had not been involved in an accident, what would I be looking to pay? And I started looking on the market, and it's quite a rare car, particularly over here. And the price that I was sort of finding was around sort of the 120 mark. So I thought, okay, so really I need to be able to buy parts, get it repaired and everything, all in with, for around about 80,000 riyal, which is 50,000 is £10,000. So it's about 16,000 pounds. So I need to do everything within £16,000, and even then it kind of just breaks even on what the market is saying. Then I started speaking to a friend of mine, and he's got a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a few other cars as well. And I said to him, what do you reckon? And he says, well, if you look around and wait long enough, you'll probably be able to pick one of these up for about 80,000. And I thought, crikey, that's even closer. But then I thought, well, this would be make nice content on the channel, right? So I could repair this, and then you guys could see that whole repair process, and that would be sort of an added benefit. And then also this car, it's got a nice story to it. The fact that it's we're resurrecting it, bringing it back onto the road. It's got low mileage, 19,000 kilometers, which is absolutely nothing, particularly for a 2006 car. And also, it was a very, very high spec car. It's white on the outside. I mean, I wasn't hugely bowled over by the white on the outside. It does work in hot climates, but the inside was really nice. It had sort of a black and a red interior, and kind of reminds me a little bit of this car, with the red, but that was more red and less black. And it was lovely on the inside, manual gearbox as well. And I thought, well, this is actually potentially quite good. Depends on the parts. Agreed to buy the car, and essentially, I mean, probably looking to have it delivered maybe in a week's time or so, which is really, really good. Shall I tell you the price? Maybe in a future video I will, but I did offer a cheeky offer, and but the thing that concerns me is getting the parts in at a reasonable price. That's going to be a challenge. So for those of you not familiar with this particular model, I've been doing a lot of research myself as well, and I've been sort of learning a lot more about the model than I previously knew, just simply because I need to know if I'm going to dive into this project. I need to know. So the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, I think it was released in about 2004, 2005. Production actually stopped in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. They did facelift it in about 2010, and so the car did have a long life. So to all intents and purposes, I mean, although the car is from 2006, it could easily be mistaken for a 2017 car, particularly if with the repair and restoration I do the whole facelift as well. Then how would you know, because the shape is the same. The interior has changed slightly, the engine has increased as well. So I mean, this one has the 4.3 litre engine, and I think the facelift version has the 4.7 litre engine. They also did, that's V8, they also did a V12 version as well, which is just epic. If you have not seen the Top Gear video on the V12, I'm going to link to it because it'll be up here somewhere. That video is just not a lot of words, but it's an epic video. It's one of the best Top Gear videos that I've ever seen. And in fact, I remember watching it originally when it came out on Top Gear, and that particular video stuck in my head since then. And so when I was looking at this car, I googled this video to watch it. So you guys have to watch it as well. Turn the volume up. Epic video. So so I mean, I've always loved the shape of the V8 Vantage, and they've really dropped down in value over the last few years. In the UK, you can pick them up for around the 20k mark, £20,000, which is a huge amount of car for the money. I mean, it's a hand-built Aston Martin, and really is good value for money. I mean, you don't you're talking about second-hand BMW value, and okay, fine, it's only a two-seater, but if all you need is a two-seater, it's got a decent boot space, and what more do you need? So and the thing is, unlike a lot of other cars, it's not a huge car. Nowadays, there's a tendency that all cars have to be sort of really big and things like that, but this is actually quite a compact car, and very usable at the same time. So essentially the model didn't change over the course of those years, and they've now released a new V8 Vantage, which I think it's a good step forward, but I prefer the original one, to be honest with you. I don't like the grille, right? So I think they got the grille wrong. They should have kept the grille a little bit more traditional, and but I think the overall shape of the original one is a better shape. And part of the reason why it looks so good is because they've used the 1/3, 2/3 rule when it comes to design. So the distance from the ground to the top of the door frame, for example, is 2/3 of the overall height of the car. So things like that, so that's why on the eye it's so pleasing. But at the same time, from every angle it looks Aston Martin. So it has all the right design cues as well of what an Aston Martin should look like. This one comes with a manual gearbox. They, at the same time, they also released an e-gear gearbox. So essentially, I think it was like a manual, but with a paddle shifter change, which apparently was not as nice to drive, because it's one of those gearboxes where, as you're accelerating, you have to lift your foot off the accelerator to change gear, which you do in a manual, but it doesn't on a paddle shifting gearbox. You don't want to be doing that. You want to keep your foot down and change up, change down, without having to lift your foot. So it was one of the early ones. Apparently the e-gear gearbox, I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean. They're not as fun to drive. I think that improves over time with the later gearboxes. That's something that does get better over time. But this one came with the manual, so I'm looking forward to receiving the car and sort of having this project going on the side. Hopefully within a couple of months we'll get it back on the road. I guess part of it depends on how quickly we can pick up the parts. So if you haven't subscribed already, definitely do subscribe. Anyhow, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I wanted to share with you, this exciting project that's going to be coming to the channel, and give you a bit of detail about the car itself. And yeah, hopefully within a week or two, I'll have this car on the drive, and then I can start getting the parts over and getting this car back on the road, and getting my own hands dirty, as I did with the 456M major service and restoration that I carried out. And if you haven't seen that, I'll share a link up here so you can watch that as well. Essentially what I do is I bought a Ferrari 456M, and it needed major everything. So major service, suspension, exhaust. I did so much to that car, and I'll include a link so you can watch that as well, including how we did the cam belt change. All of this stuff was done in the garage at home by myself and a friend of mine who is a Ferrari mechanic. Anyhow, hope to catch you in the next video. Take care for now. Ciao.